morning, everybody. Today's book is called Richard Was a Picker, written by Carolyn Beck and illustrated by Ben Hodson. Richard was a picker. He would pick and pick and pick. His neighbors called him Booger Boy. His best friends called him Rick. Hi, Rick. Those are his best friends. He'd stick his finger up his snout and proud and pry and scoop stuff out. He stretched the gooey, slimy strings into loops and swingy things. From the crumbles, gobs, and ooze, he sculpted castles, farms, and zoos. Jelly yellows and gooky whites made robots, trains, and satellites. Globby browns and glabbery greens built airports, towns, and submarines. Then one day, as he dug about, Richard's fingers would not come out. He pulled, he tugged, he grasped, he gripped, but up, his fingers slipped. One knuckle, two knuckles, then all three. "Oh no," said Richard. "How can this be?" He tried a yank, a jerk, a twist. In went his hand up to his wrist. "Help!" he honked in puzzled alarm. Snort! Richard's nose sucked up his arm. Richard froze. He dared not blink or gasp or twitch or even think. Around him fell the strangest hush. Then grumble, grumble, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Shoulders, chest, knees, and toes, the rest of Richard slid up his nose. Richard was in his half-picked snout, which now was completely inside out. He looked like a booger, a big gloopy blob, an ooey gooey goobery glob. Look at his bedroom. All his toys and everything look disgusted or angry. "Help, help, help!" Richard's hollers were so muffled, so wee, they couldn't be heard by even a flea. He wiggled his fingers and squiggled his toes, but still he stayed stuck inside his nose. He wormed, he squirmed, he snapped and bumped, he kicked, he flicked, he flapped and thumped. Then, with a shudder and a shake, Richard's inside-out snout began to quake. It wobbled and bobbled, tottered and rocked. To eds, to eds, to eds, Richard squawked. He zigged and zagged toward the door. His gooky nose gathered stuff from the floor. A book, a puzzle, the rug, a shoe, a ball, some shorts, and a sock or two. He rumbled, he tumbled down the hall. Pictures fell from their hooks on the wall. As he lurched from his house into the street, he bawled his mother right off her feet. He picked up 6 cats, 5 crows, and 1 mouse, an unsuspecting dog sleeping in his house, a wagon, a frog, 2 babies in a pool, and old Mrs. Rappertaffy knitting on her stool. Oh, poor old woman got gathered up all in that snot. Y'all see the baby and the crows and the mouse and the cat. Neighbors yelled, neighbors ran. Richard kept on rolling. He had a plan. He rolled past the bank and Morris Meats by Flora's Flowers and Stella's Sweets. Behind him chased the entire town. "Catch it!" they cried. "Hunt that thing down!" They waved canes and sticks and big wooden spoons, chains and picks and nasty harpoons. But Richard kept rolling. He was headed for Ed's. If he didn't make it, he'd be shredded to shreds. "Get those babies! Stop that blob!" The crowd chasing Richard was mad. It was a mad mob. 4 blocks, 3 blocks, just 2 blocks to go but Richard's snout was beginning to slow. His nose was too loaded, too lumped and clumped. Seeing their chance, the 6 cats jumped. 5 crows flew, 1 mouse leapt, while the dog in his house slept and slept. With 1 block left, Richard slowed to a crawl. He was barely moving at all. Then came the jab of a big wooden spoon and the quick, sharp prick of a rusty harpoon. Richard bumped to a stone dead stop directly in front of Ed's spice shop. "Get it, bash it, mash it," cried the horde. "Net it, thrash it, smash it," they roared. "Stop," stammered Richard. Stop, please." He crossed his fingers and waited for a achoo! It could have been the parsley, the pepper, the thyme, the nutmeg, the mustard, the ginger, or the lime. It could have been the cumin, the coriander, the salt. The only thing that mattered was the end result. The babies, the wagon, the socks, the frog, the pictures, the puzzle, the rug, the dog, the book, the ball, the shorts, the shoe, old Miss Rapper-Taffy, and Richard too. Everything went flipping and flying around and around, but all landed safely on a soft, spicy mound. The babies went poof, the dog went plop, old Miss Rapper-Taffy went flip, flap, flop. The crowd stood surrounded. They were plastered in snot. "Booger boy," they spluttered. "That's you, is it not?" Richard rubbed his nose. It was very, very sore. "Booger boy," he said. "No, that's not me. Not anymore." All right, so we read the book. We're going to go ahead and take our practice quiz. Remember, you have 10 seconds to answer. Here we go. What did Richard's neighbor call him? Booger boy, Trigger boy, Richard the awesome, Flicky Ricky. 10 seconds. If you said Booger boy, you'd be right. Let's go on to the next one. One day when Richard had his finger up his nose, what happened? It got stuck. His mother caught him. He got sick or he sneezed. 10 seconds. If you said it got stuck, then you got it. All right, next question. What was one thing that Richard's gooky nose gathered? A raccoon, an airplane, his sister, or a shoe? 10 seconds. If you said a shoe, then you got it. Almost kind of a hard one. All right, here we go. Where was Richard heading when he was rolling down the street? To Ed's, to the ocean, to the candy store, to the school. All right, we got 10 seconds. If you said to Ed's, then you would be right. Good job. Ed had the spices. All right. Here we go. What was one spice that might have made Richard sneeze? Was it pepper, garlic, Skittles, or oregano? All right, guys, 10 seconds. If you said pepper, then you've got it. Good job. All right, so we finished our practice quiz and we read our book. I highly suggest that you guys go back and watch it one more time and go through the practice quiz before you take your test. And as always, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our quiz number. So here we go. Today's quiz number is 141261. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Remember to read the book one more time before you take your test. And you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.